See again, we're live. We got it.
All right.
Worked without a hitch.
How about that? Hey, we're on. So, and everybody says that the necessity is the mother of invention. But is motherhood the necessity of invention? Did a monkey's mom make an office staple? No, not the animal, the group, the band. And can a brainchild and a literal child happen at the same time? Well, these and other topics we're going to be discussing tonight, this and so much more on your May edition of Inventor Friday. I'm Don Skaggs, your host, chief cook and bottle washer around here. And before we get started, I want to mention our sponsor. How we get on here and how we get to broadcast this, hopefully, usually flawlessly, is by using a great product that's provided to us by Windstream Kinetic. And if you have a business and you need a good fiber connection, well, Kinetic Business is the place you want to check out. They provide 1 gig of fiber to us here in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and it works great. It is the least glitchy thing we have around here. So, we had a glitch earlier, but we solved it. We're on, so that's all good. So, but anyway, if you're interested, go to business.windstream.com. And again, the good people there have really been good to us and taken good care of us, and we highly recommend them as they are our sponsor. Now, while you are on the internet, you want to go check out our website. Yes, we have everything new. Everything's refreshed, and we have a new name in case you have not, you've been living under a rock the last 6 months. We've had a rebrand. We're called Axure now, the Axure Network. And if you could just go to axurenetwork.org, well, you can see all kinds of really, really cool stuff. Well, we've got our quick links here. If you're interested in becoming a member, membership definitely has its privileges. It'll get you into our workshops. It'll get you into all the meetings, the inner circle on the live stream, all that for free. But you have to join our tribe. So you just go to our quick links, go to membership, go to join our tribe. Did you miss a meeting and you really wanted to see it? Well, you can see the replay now. We've got that on our website. If you want to do a one-on-one session with someone like myself or Leo, well, you can do that too. And we have our Empowered Inventing Academy courses that you can take. So just check us out on our website. All the new stuff that's coming up will be on here as well. And we, all the information is all right here. All the things we have going on is here, and it's ready to go. So check us out, axurenetwork.org. And with me tonight, we have Jim Francis. I want to keep Eugenia on her toes because we didn't have an order of guests tonight. Jim, tell us who you are, what you're all about.
I'm a patent attorney here in Lexington, Kentucky. Work for a firm based out of New Jersey. Do intellectual property litigation and prosecution. But my real claim to fame is I'm one of the first people to buy an unboxing.
Yes. All right. Cool. And we're going to talk about the unboxing. So maybe you don't know what one is. Also with me tonight is the one and only, the man himself, David Dienhart. David, tell everybody who you are and what you're all about.
Hi, I'm Dave Dienhart. I'm the owner of Gabu Designs. I'm actually your favorite designer, mold maker, and caster, and mini manufacturer.
All right. You need to get it done.
Yeah.
We'll get it done with David. Also with me tonight is Leo York.
Hey, everybody, copywriter, podcaster, VP. Glad to be here.
And last but not least, we have Eugenia Kelly, who has a very interesting sweater.
Thank you to Leo that we read it in the correct order.
It was
I'm-
backwards before. It was Yexop new, I think.
I am a local inventor. I live 1 mile from this place. I am really glad to be back in the studio for this Friday live stream. But Unboxy is the very first product that I've sold. Jim, thank you. He was one of our first customers. But David Deanhart, there's a reason why. He is my favorite designer.
I can honestly say it's changed my life.
I love it.
Oh.
I also make the mix that we have here, which is food. So it must be really working on Jim tonight.
That's the main reason I come.
We've all gone back for seconds already, so that's got to say something. This may be available soon, by the way. See, I've already hit it. I've already eaten half. It's a very habit forming. We got to come up with a cool name for it, though. I've got some suggestions, but let's talk a little bit about innovations in history. And I think the first one we've got is Eugenia.
We do. Do you
Yes.
want to bring up our,
Yes, I can.
is it okay
Let's see.
to give a shout out to the mothers and say this is very
Absolutely,
female
yes.
focused? And I want to say, as a mother, I tell my son he will always be my favorite invention.
Oh,
And no chance in him hearing that because he is not going to keep up with anything mom's doing, but he is my favorite invention. So we have tonight Margaret Knight. Interestingly, she is not a mother. She never got married. She could be, for me, my great grandmother, which
Ooh.
means she's from the 19th century. She was born in 1838 and she passed away in 1914. Her first patent, she was age 32. I always find that so interesting for me when I researched
Mm.
these inventors. She was 32 when she had her first patent. Well, what was the patent? She invented the machine that created the flat bottom of a bag. Think of your early grocery bags. What I find interesting is for example, me, I thought of the unboxing, but David designed it. So she didn't just think of the bag. She made the machinery that made the bag. And I think that's a whole other level for Miss Margaret Knight. Therefore, I like to just tell you a little bit about her as a person. She was raised with boy siblings by her mother, and her dad had passed away when she was young. So she was definitely around her brothers. She was not formally educated. She did not go to school past age 12. She went into the machine shops and started working. One of her very first inventions that she didn't get a patent for, she witnessed an injury at the work site and she created this tool that helped prevent injuries going forward. I also like to know where they're located. She was first in Maine, then she went to New Hampshire. A lot of us have connections to New Hampshire. And then she spent most of her life, I believe, in Connecticut. And like I said, she's not a mother. She never did get married. This idea, when we get into the invention itself, it has some drama. Jim would understand this. She needed to go to a machine shop and obviously develop this. And this man stole her idea.
Heard the story so many times.
Yes. His name is Charles Annan. He visited the same shop where she had her iron model built. He stole her design and patented it first. She didn't take that. When she went to patent it, she discovered it and she filed a patent interference lawsuit in 1870. She spent a total of $100 a day.
Whoa.
For 16-day hearing.
Wow.
But she did win. I was really happy for her that she did that. The other interesting thing about Miss Margaret, is that she chose more licensing than she did being an entrepreneur.
Didn't know it was a thing back then.
She wanted royalties. She lived a simple life. She never really became rich or anything. She just basically was able to afford her living. How many patents do you think she ended up with before she passed away? She passed away she was 76 when she died.
A lot of that's a lot of years to
Yeah.
patent things.
14.
27.
Wow.
I think possibly 30.
Wow.
She was definitely somebody who had a lot of manufacturing. She understood the importance of intellectual property, but she was a female innovator. So do you think that it hurt her that she only wanted royalties?
I mean, hurt's kind of subjective. It may have damaged her capacity to be wealthy, but it sounds like she just wanted a comfortable, quiet life. So it sounds to me like she kind of won respect. She accomplished what she wanted from it.
I agree. I think a lot of it has to do with just your childhood.
Yeah. What do you
And-
want?
Yes. And I think she was not in it for fame. I don't know of an inventor that is,
That's true. Yeah. Fair.
because it's not like they're handing out these ideas for free and
Yeah.
you go get you one. Right?
It probably would have been difficult for her back then to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
True.
absolutely. Yeah.
She did start a company too. It was called the Eastern Bag Company, but she didn't want to be any part of the business. She just wanted to invent.
People like that. I mean, and that's kind of a nice thing too. You know, she sounds like somebody who was in Tinkerville, but in a way where she could monetize living in Tinkerville.
Right.
So it's kind of nice. I mean, yeah, she sounds, again, I might be projecting, but she sounds kind of like a introverted, eccentric person who wanted to work on stuff and be able to fund it comfortably. And if she's paying $1,600 fighting a patent lawsuit in like the early 20th century, she's doing okay. Yeah.
But I do think we see a lot of that. I mean, we'll have a lot of folks come into us and they're like, I just want to tinker. I just want to do. Yeah, I remember one time there was this one guy and we had a speaker. It was an open meeting. It was back in the in-person days. That now seems like 100 years ago. But it was, and he was talking about all the business things you had to do. Well, you got to do this and you need to do that. And this guy got up in the middle of the room. He's all, or the middle of the meeting. He's all frustrated. And he's like, I don't want to do any of this business stuff. I just want to invent things. And I thought, well, okay, that's fine. But you do have to either sell the idea as a license, or you have to make them and sell them if you want to be an entrepreneur. So it's, you can come up with stuff all day, but looks like she cracked that though. She had some kind of into, oh, well, and maybe it was her relationship with the machine shops she had originally. That could definitely be something that played in there.
Absolutely.
David, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the hardest part is definitely getting out there and sharing your idea with the world, because coming up with the ideas and doing the ideas, for me, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about them and selling them is really difficult because, you have different mindsets, right? I'm more of an introvert, so I like to just plan and figure stuff out. So,
Well, and that's, I mean,
but yeah, you do have to do both.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah,
yeah, she did it
absolutely.
well.
Yeah, you have to be either a good salesperson or a good, if you're not a good salesperson, you just have to have a good relationship with someone who would be a good salesman.
That's why there's a
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's, not just Jerry's. Yeah.
So was one the salesman? And I don't know if I know that story.
I can, just from memory, I know one of them had a condition where they they had a diminished sense of taste.
Hmm.
So they wanted to make an ice cream what it was very textural. So
Hmm.
lots of fillings, and they developed it, and better at the business side. So there was an interplay there. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's hard to find people with the skill sets to do the development and the inventing and do the business side.
Absolutely.
Very rare.
That's why you
Yeah.
gotta form the perfect team around you.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely in today's modern times, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to ask one last discussion
Yes.
question?
Absolutely.
Well, we gotta talk about the intellectual property.
Ah,
Do you think she could have done anything differently? And how might she handle that today? I would say she would have had an agreement with the shop or whatever. I think it would be handled differently today.
yeah, you wonder back then, did they have, was things done on a handshake and that was more binding back then than now, where
Probably.
you have to have like a room full of attorneys?
And non-disclosure, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I wonder if they had
That's
any of
what
that.
I was.
yeah. Well, if she got ripped off the first time, then
Maybe that's why we have non-disclosures.
Yeah.
More of those experiences.
I wonder how, well, no, you said she got an interference and that's how she got it.
She did.
Well, that was good.
The other thing I would say about her, I think it's indicative of both the inventors that I studied for tonight. They both grew up with parents who lost their spouse. For this particular one, she lost her mother or her dad. And she went to school until she was 12. And I think that really affected everything about her. But obviously, she was brilliant. And she was a success. She was inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame in the year 2006.
All right.
Cool.
But that is Miss Margaret Knight.
All right.
I had to look it up in a shop. Unless I'm missing something, it looks to me like the first NDA started in the 40s.
Really?
That's
Huh.
right. I would have thought it was 100 years older than that, at least.
Yeah.
For real.
Wow.
I think they're older than that. It's just the first
Gotta be, right?
template, the first formal kind of, we're gonna use the same thing over and over.
That's probably, yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah.
It was more individualized.
Mhm.
Maybe before 1940, it was like, yes, we have an agreement. And
Yeah.
you know, they just like genericized.
Yeah.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. All right, Leo, I think you're up, and we've got
I'm
Tabitha
Babbitt.
Babbitt.
Yeah.
All right.
So Tabitha Babbitt, one of the reasons why I was so intrigued by her story is she was a shaker. And I get on a soapbox occasionally about shakers. They make great stuff. They're very mechanically minded. There's like 3 left in the world, I think, if they don't reproduce. And they were absolutely a weird, freaky cult back in the day. Like 100% a cult. All the hallmarks of a cult before people knew about that. But Tabitha Babbitt was interesting because she was a shaker who not only was good at making things, she made a tool that solved a problem with regard to making things. And it was the circular saw. So that's just so bizarre to me. She pretty much just saw like that people were using whip saws because that was all that there was. She thought, that's a very labor intensive, inefficient way to deal with that problem. So she started, organizing a sort of a draft on paper, the way a lot of inventors start things up, and ended up developing the circular saw as a direct result. And she was inspired. I mean, it's so neat when you see how people come up with ideas. She thought, sometimes you just combine 2 things. What if we took the elements from it's literally, if you think about it, it's a spinning wheel plus a whip saw. That's all it really, that was the brainchild component.
It was a mashup before there were mashups.
Yeah. She took a spinning wheel tech, she took a whip saw, and she made the circular saw. And that, you know, I mean, it's one of those things with, sure, now it's electric, but it's a staple of any woodworker's
Yeah.
tool set. And like, that's just mind blowing that this was mid 19th century that this was come up with. And yeah, and in her respect, again, was not a mother in the traditional sense, but I'm including her because even though she didn't biologically reproduce because she was in a cult, Shakers were famous for taking in foundlings. They were kind of the people went for. So she was a mother, just not, you know, she was a
Yeah.
mother to foundlings.
Right.
So yeah. And,
Yeah, I even see like a foot pedal for the.
yeah, I mean,
original one.
it's a loom that cuts instead of sews. So yeah,
That is
it's a
wild.
really interesting thing. And so to me, that begs the question, have you all ever had a problem? And in order to solve that problem, you've had to figure out a tool that doesn't exist prior to solve it.
Well, I'm immediately going to the McDonald's brothers story where and I forget what it was. It was something in the hamburger making process or French fry. And they said, well, you know, the tool, nothing existed to do this. So they just built it. But,
Yeah,
we'll
interesting.
just build it, which is probably a staple in every fast
It-
food restaurant
I
today.
might be misremembered, but it might have been the metal mesh basket for deep frying. 'Cause
You know
before
what?
then, I think you just dropped stuff in and tonged it out. That's so inefficient in hindsight. So, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. And then what about you, David?
I built tools.
I was
all the
gonna
time.
say, like, I knew
I-
this was gonna be
I'm-
your alley.
I'm
right here.
designing a jig for some testing that I need to do that needs to be repeatable and yeah, whenever I need something, I just design it and 3D print it most of the time or laser cut it. And if I need jigs for my laser cutter, I designed plenty of those that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
That just helped me get things done more efficiently.
Have you ever thought about monetizing any of the tools?
Not really, because they all seemed like second nature to me. So some of them are out online for free. But yeah, maybe some of them at some point.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are really proprietary to what I do. So
Yeah.
it would probably take more time and energy to get them out there
Sure.
to sell one than it would to
Could
just use
be.
it.
I mean, I will say one of the reasons why I thought of that is a good friend of the show, Chris at Lexington Makerspace.
Mhm.
He came up with a tool for personal use,
Yeah.
and people started paying for it. So now it's a product for him. Like, I don't know if I can collaborate on what it is or what it does, but it's gone to market. So
Yeah.
I'll have to
for
talk to
them.
him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not, he's more of the engineer kind of guy. He's not he's not the sale. Yeah, I wouldn't think of him as, I don't know.
No,
He's not. Yeah, I know Chris pretty well.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
no, that's pretty cool.
I think from a marketing perspective, a lot of what I see is, simple inventions a lot of people don't think they can do anything with, are the things people grab because they can understand them. They immediately see how it's going to benefit them and what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
And granted, but I used to work in Alex at the refinery up there in R&D, and we used to have to manufacture, just make a lot of the tools we used. And you're not going to be able to sell those on the open market, but little things that make your life easier on a day-to-day basis, like a jig,
Mhm.
tend to do really well.
Almost
Makes
like
sense.
the accidental invention while you're inventing something else.
But you, Eugenia.
To forgive me, I have to find my spot on the. Well, for me, the extension cord that I bought, I wanted to solve that problem because I do like corded tools, but I don't like extension cords that get tangled.
Sure.
But the funny thing was, just working with my dad, he thought that was just useless. And it's all about what Jim said. If you solve a problem for somebody, then they'll buy it, but it's not everybody's problem.
Right.
We're not creating the iPhone on most days, as you like to say, right?
Yeah. Well, that begs the question. The second question I've got, speaking of problems and solutions, have you ever come up with a solution that you realize after the fact that it solves a wider array of Because I mean, that's what happened with her. You know, she just wanted to be more efficient, had shaker furniture, but it's for everything made out of wood. So, how about you, yeah, David?
That one's a tough one, because I don't know, yeah, I don't know.
No,
That one's a tough one, sorry.
I'll break the ice then. I mean, personally, one of my products that didn't go to market, when I market tested it, I thought it was going to be for purely the houseware people. It ended up mechanics ended up being a bigger part of the market, and I never even considered that as solving a problem mechanics would have.
Huh.
So yeah, it was for originally for food storage, but they were like, this is ideal for oil more so than food. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
yeah,
That's weak. I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about too.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You know, it's funny. It's before we, and I said the accidental invention. Well, sometimes there's the accidental market of, and I love this. And I think universities will use this word technology transfer, and doesn't mean anything close to what I ever think of when I think of technology transfer. I think of technology transfer is you find something that is commonplace in one industry, and you're like, oh, this is completely unheard of over here. And I was in a niche industry for years, a niche of a niche almost. And there were all kinds of things that were used in food processing that was common there, so that's a Tuesday over here. But this is an innovation. We've never done this before. This saves, it was all that. I think a lot of that for inventors and entrepreneurs is just out there hiding in plain sight in all kinds of industries.
Yeah, 100%. Eugenia, we know that happened with you at the homeware show. You know,
Oh
you had-
yeah.
it solved a problem, but with Jim, it solved a very different problem. So
Like I said, my life has changed.
Yeah.
No, it's great because it's not metal. Yeah, it's easier to keep around the house and have right there when you need it. But it's that cross-functional. I'm trying to find a good word to describe it. A lot of times, what you need is someone who can see several different areas of innovation at the same time. And they can see this works good here, but it work even better over there.
Yeah.
And inevitably, those are the people that honestly tend to drive new markets.
Mhm.
And it's not that they invented it, but they saw new uses for it. And even that, to some degree, is invention. And that's something a lot of people overlook, is the fact just because it's been invented for this industry,
Mhm.
it doesn't mean you can't even patent it and say, we're going to use this to do that.
Oh.
And you can kind of secure that niche in that industry to where, yeah, you can keep using it on something over here, but to use it like in the automotive industry to do something no one else is allowed to do, because the patent covers kind of an industry specific use.
So you could IP could literally become use case specific.
Yes.
Wow.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that again, that opens up a whole just vast area of opportunity. I think most people just don't see it.
yeah,
Hiding in plain sight.
that covers mine.
All right. Well, let's see. I think I'm up next. We're going to talk about Sarah Guppy. Let's see. Here we go. Sarah Guppy. So Sarah this was like a 19th century, is that right? 19th century, 19. I've got to do I got to do the math on
You got
the
it.
century math. 19th century. She was in the 1800s, so it was 19th century. So she was a mother of six, and she patented designs for bridges and engineering improvements in 1841, or no, 1811. This is she patented a new mode of constructing and erecting bridges and railroads, and whereby the danger of being washed away by floods is avoided.
That shows the mother's love.
Yeah, so she was caring. She was like, I don't want my children to, yeah, so I want them to be safe. And so she patented the first of her inventions. Here we go. Just trying to see my notes here. A method of making safe pilings for bridges, and Thomas Telford asked her for permission to use her patent as a design for suspension bridge foundations, and she granted it to him free of charge. This is where it gets interesting. A friend of Isambard Kingdom Brunel,
Yeah.
which
Quite a name.
there's a funny name, and we were talking about funny names earlier, before the show started. And his family became involved in the Great Western Railway, writing to the directors with ideas and giving her support. So I think kind of the free one sort of catapulted her, and because this guy with three names that I want to repeat to try to pronounce is apparently was well-to-do, and then I think she became well-to-do. Now the other thing about her that I thought was really interesting. And here's a picture of her in 1811. No, this is actually this is Kim Hicks as Sarah Guppy. So I don't know if this was like a movie or a reproduction, or people come out and she Kim Hicks is Sarah Guppy in the new blockbuster movie. Now that's actually the real her. There she is in her cute little bonnet. So she was an engineer, an inventor, a campaigner, designer, reformer, writer, environmentalist, and businesswoman. Born in 1770. So yeah, now we're going to the 18th century. And when she married merchant Samuel Guppy. Now the interesting thing is yeah, she did the bridge stuff, and that kind of won her some fame. She had 10 other patents. I don't know if I have all of them here. There's an actual portrait of her there. And the bridge patent, and this was funny because I was trying to look up the actual bridge patent. It was patent number 3,405.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, that's, of course, again, 1811.
And that's in England too.
And in England
So,
on top of that. So that's super, super early. I was trying to find another little thing on that. Oh, here we go. Here's a actual patent. Now, no drawings. Now it's a bridge patent, but there's no drawings. I just thought that was really interesting.
Don't tell Kevin.
Don't tell Kevin Brooks that. Yeah. Oh, so yeah. Well, I guess you could get away with that in 1811, but also, one of the last now know ye that. So yeah, it's that kind of wording. But anyway, she had 10 other patents, or she had a total of 10 patents. And they were very interesting. I would have loved to have found some interesting notations or pictures or something, but I couldn't find any. But in the first half of the 19th century, her patents included a method of keeping ships free from barnacles.
Oh, wow.
That led to a government contract worth 40,000 pounds, again in 18 whatever. Other inventions included a bed with built-in exercise equipment. I'm really trying to visualize that. I wish I had more information. Exercise equipment in the 1800s. And then she had a device, and I thought this was really interesting. She had a device or coffee urn which could cook eggs in the steam as well as having a small dish to keep toast warm. And a device for improvement, no, that's something else, improvement for caulking ships, boats and vessels. I mean, this was like a wide
Yeah,
swath
she was not a
of,
specialist. that's
she,
for sure.
she was, she was all over the board, but in the 1800s to actually invent a kitchen appliance
Yeah,
that,
egg steamer / toast warmer. That sounds like something that you'd see now on a
Right.
TV thing.
yeah, exactly.
Toast genie or
I
something.
need that.
David will be making one next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, you make your tea, boil your eggs, and keep your toast warm all at the same time. Set it and forget it. So what skills do you think you find invaluable for inventing a lot of different things like this? What kind of skill sets you think
She
are involved
seems
with
to
that?
me, again, maybe I'm projecting, but she seems like a curious person. She seems like
Mhm.
somebody with an innate curiosity because it doesn't sound like, again, she had a single focused interest being barnacles and eggs and toast. And, that's
Mhm.
somebody who likes to experiment and learn about a lot of things.
That's true.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of engineer types that will, it's like they're in a certain industry, and it's kind of that whole adage of, to a hammer, everything's a nail. So, it's ship barnacles or nothing. But then you've got these other people, and we've seen them too, where they're more like everything they come across, they just like pick it up and say, huh, what happens if I turn this upside down? And it's like the whole world is a laboratory or a curiosity, like you said, or just something that just keeps them thinking, what if?
Yeah.
What do you think, Jim?
I think there's several different roads inventors take. I think curiosity is a big one. Um, Not pointing to any clients in particular, but I think laziness is part of it too. If I can, some people are talking, if I can find a way to do this quicker, easier, or I don't have to put the effort into it,
Mm-hmm.
they'll have that direction. And
Yeah.
I've seen it used in construction industries and all kinds of things. And
Yeah.
it seems like it's just a way to do something quicker, but sometimes the cost savings is amazing.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
Makes sense.
and
Yeah.
sometimes just outright desperation is the best.
Yeah, that's true.
But different paths they take and different mindsets, but in the end, everybody sees a problem that needs solving.
Yeah.
Reminds me of,
true.
there's an Italian adage, hunger is the best sauce. And I think that applies to business too.
I like
Yep.
that. David, your thoughts on this?
So yeah, curiosity for sure, persistence, because you need to just dig in and figure things out and then realize what works, doesn't work, and then try again. And if you don't have that persistence, you won't get there. And then to your point about turning a bottle upside down,
Yeah.
sometimes somebody who's not in the industry can come in and say, they don't know what rules people have already ruled out and said, yeah, you can't do this because. So
Right.
they just come in and do it and don't think about why they can't do it and they get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that part's pretty cool.
I see a lot of that in industries that have existed for a long time, and people are just resistant to change.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And oddly enough, I see a lot of this with the Amish, and they come up with some amazing things.
Huh.
And the Amish have been particularly involved in patenting things for several years. They're great business people,
Mhm.
but they're also good at solving problems. Because sometimes it's easier to solve a problem than have another kid to work on the problem. But
Right. Yeah, that's funny. I remember the first, and I think we've both talked and worked with him. But I remember the first guy that ever called me, and he was an Amish inventor, and I had to like just stop for a minute, and I thought, okay, is that a thing? Do they? I didn't think the Amish. You always think of Amish, oh, no mechanical anything, but no, they do things, and they actually do. They're very creative in solving problems.
Yep.
And of course, he had to go to a friend's house to call me on the phone because he couldn't have a phone, but you know, that's okay. But but what I found, then I found out that the Amish actually have a trade show. And I'm thinking, okay, they have a trade show? You mean like
Huh.
every is so, you know, I always say every industry is a trade show,
Yeah.
but I never in my wildest dreams thought the Amish, and apparently it's a very lucrative trade show.
Wow.
They
And
are
you,
very innovative, and they're great business people, but they're
Mhm.
very innovative.
yeah.
So
So yeah, just, you know, I was assuming just way too much before I'd met this guy. And I learned a lot of, oh wow, you guys are like, you know, you're not building rockets over here, but you're building something that's really, really, really cool and inventive. So what say you, Leo?
Uh, yeah, just again, curiosity. Eugenia, how about you?
Curiosity.
Yeah.
For sure. That was the exact word I was thinking. You said it earlier.
Yeah, it's just, it's the way when you look at things.
One of the things I've always felt being in the corporate of healthcare for over 30 years, and there's a doctrine. And what I would say to you about healthcare, it's all about life or death. I don't care what it is in healthcare, it's all about life or death. But so obviously safety is extremely important. And one of the things that I would often think of is why do industries not swap more? Obviously with Six Sigma and building cars and all of that, that is a swap. But I feel like that there should be more openness to learning from other industry. I think the reason why they don't is they just simply will not take away the time
Yeah.
from earning.
And they're comfortably numb in their little silo.
You know,
Mhm.
you do have to keep the doors open. But I think there's opportunity with that. But
And I think there's some culture things out there with, especially with large businesses, everyone's afraid they're gonna get fired, they're afraid, you know, everything's a little fiefdom and everybody's afraid, you know, oh, I can't do this, what if I fail? Then but they really should be promoted to fail. Yeah, fail
Yeah.
fast, fail cheap.
So you can imagine in healthcare,
There is
no,
yeah.
there's no, failure is not an option.
Oh, I can tell you a great example of that. So we were developing this, not to get too lost in the stupid technical medical weeds, but we were developing a stain. And stains they used in laboratory to stain microscope slides, so certain cells would show up on the microscope slide. So there was this stain that had been used for 100 years, same formula for 100 years, and we started looking at it and we thought, well, you know, this stain's got this like inch of sediment in the bottom of every bottle we make with this formula. Why is that? It's not going into solution. Why would, you know, if you know, it's like you're putting salt in a glass of water, you finally put too much salt and it starts falling back out because it won't hold all the liquid, hold it over in the liquid. And so we called the Biological Stain Commission, which is the official place that like rules all this, and so why is this way? And their answer, well, this is the way we've always done it. Literally their answer, this is the way we've always done it. Have you ever thought maybe like half of this stuff is just being wasted? But yeah, and I think that creeps into a lot of corporate cultures that way.
Yes, we need more cross pollination.
Yeah. But that being said, is there skill sets that you think we ought to or would rather outsource?
That's the struggle of being a successful inventor,
Mhm.
don't you think?
Yep.
It's hard to check all those boxes, like just like what David was talking about.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then when you're poor, it's hard to outsource it on. So please answer that question for us.
Well, I can tell you who could answer it, and we really need to look him up and see how he's doing. I've not talked to him in years and years and years, but one of our members was Bill Elam. And Bill, if you're out there and watching us, call in, check in with us. I would love to talk to you. But I think he's retired down in Florida now. older gentleman, but he was a prolific inventor, entrepreneur. And he had a saying he would always say, insource creativity, outsource productivity. And that's what he did. He would like, okay, I've got these 4 things I want to create. It takes these 4 elements, and I'm not good at any of these things. So I'll have this guy make this part. I'll have this guy make this part. I think the last thing he made were like these little barrels that were like
Forever
urns.
aging.
Forever aging. Yeah. Yeah. They were like little urns. And you had a little of your bourbon or whatever in, I guess your favorite, whatever, and they would actually put your ashes in that
Oh,
little urn. And he sold a lot of those things. Before that, he had something. It was like a for prints for professionals.
Yeah.
And he says, I didn't know anything about photography. He said, I had somebody arrange it. I had somebody make the photos. I had somebody do this. And he said, some of them, he said, my grandkids like draw on the back of them, didn't sell any. He says others sold like hotcakes, and he did well with them. But I always remember him saying that insource creativity, outsource productivity.
Yeah.
So is there anything you'd rather do than rather outsource, Leo?
Most things actually. Laziness is my motivation.
Oh, I'm not good at prototyping. I mean, I'm good at frankentyping maybe a little bit, but if it's time to make it pretty or something, I'm calling David.
yeah, I like doing that part of it. I like getting it to the manufacturing state and then handing it off. And I've got a guy that works for me now that I hand that stuff off to. So now I focus more on landing the clients and getting the proof of concept, the prototype, or at least a manufacturing prototype done. So, but yeah,
I think that's where you're getting back to building the right team around you.
Yeah.
And, a lot of what I've seen with some of the vendors is it's their baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're not going to
Yes.
share their baby. They're not going to listen when somebody else says, hey, that's an ugly baby. They're going to hold it all inside.
Yep.
They're going to try to do it all on their own. And
Yep.
then they wonder why they never get anywhere.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's the trouble with treating your invention like it's a baby. It's gonna behave like a baby. I don't care if it's diapers or college tuitions. Babies cost money.
yeah.
I tell people it's an asset or it's a liability.
Mhm.
But it's not a baby.
Yes.
In fact, your kids may be assets or liabilities.
Right.
But you got to be willing to let go of things. You got to be willing to listen to other people
Mhm.
and accept the fact that you probably don't know everything you need to know to bring something to market.
absolutely.
That's it. That is totally it in a nutshell. Absolutely.
Sometimes it's cheaper to outsource stuff. You don't think it is,
Right.
but then when you
Mhm.
do, you go, wow, that didn't cost that much because I made more.
Yeah.
Or
And I saved all this time.
yeah, and I saved all this.
And all these mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Buy it twice, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let's move on to some things a little closer to present day. I think Eugenia's got the next one here.
Yes, I'm very excited to speak about.
All right.
Oh. I'd
Marion
like to
Donovan.
introduce you to Marion Donovan. She passed away in 1998. So she's spent her entire life in the 20th century. She lived until she was 81. So she could be my grandmother for me.
Hmm.
And like the first inventor I spoke about, she was raised primarily by only one parent. Her mother died when she was young, and she had a much different life though than the lady I talked about previously. Marion was born into a family, her dad, who raised her, and his identical twin, they were inventors.
Hmm.
They owned their own business, and so she grew up in that environment. But she went off to college, and she worked in the fashion industry. She was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So she's our Midwest gal, but she made her way to New York City, Connecticut, and she is a mother. She had 3 children. The other interesting thing about Marion is she divorced her first husband and got remarried. So before I tell you what her invention is, I will say to you, she had over 20 patents before it was all said and done.
Wow.
So she was prolific. We can thank Miss Marion for the very first cloth diaper overlay. It was the product that they would use to put over the first waterproof diaper cover. She developed that as a part of raising her young children. It was the predecessor to the Pampers. Okay. She named her very first diaper cover Boaters
I
because
love
it
that name.
floated. And she used the material of a shower curtain to make it. And this is, there's so many things that I wanted to get right about her that I'm going to read it. Okay.
Go for it.
When she attempted to sell the boater to top manufacturers, it was rejected. Therefore, she went into manufacturing herself. Good for her. It debuted these diaper covers, and this is not Pampers, this was before, 10 years before. When it debuted at Saks Fifth Avenue in 1949, it was an immediate hit. Store managers could not keep the shelves stocked. The sales increased, revealing a strong market demand for a product that greatly reduced laundry loads and improved infant hygiene. I think that's just hilarious that it was flying off the shelves and it was at Saks Fifth Avenue.
After it was rejected.
Yes. So get this. 2 years later, she sold her company for these diaper covers and the rights to make them for $1 million.
Wow.
Good for her.
Yeah.
What year was that?
1951.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
More than a couple of million.
Yeah.
Today.
So here's where the drama comes in. By that same time when she sold her company for $1 million, she was developing a disposable diaper. But she was not able to bring it to market. She pitched it and they said, no, we don't need that. She took her finished product, the Pamper, to every large manufacturer in the country, but no one was interested. I think she was trying to sell it to men. No offense.
Yeah, no, it's almost certainly the real.
Well,
issue.
Yeah.
She was laughed at by the United States paper companies for proposing such an unnecessary and impractical item. So it wasn't until a decade later in 1961 that Victor Mills, the creator of Pampers, then capitalized on it. I will say in some ways she's accountable for a lot of the landfill problems that we have. You know, people are what they are, but it did, I think, ultimately add to the better health of children.
Yeah.
For sure. And then this lady, she is a dynamo. She returned to school. Unlike my first gal, this lady had an early degree, went straight from high school to college. Then she became this prolific inventor as she had her children. But then she went back to school because she'd always wanted to be an architect. And she graduated from Yale. And then she earned 20 patents. And for this lady, she was inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame in 2015. He had a couple of other cute little things, if it's okay.
Yeah, no, go for it. Absolutely.
She invented a facial tissue box, a towel dispenser, a hosiery clasp, storage box, closet organizer, soap dish, and the zippity-doo, an elastic cord that connected over the shoulder to the back of your dress to zip it up.
Oh,
What?
Of course,
But
that didn't catch on.
yeah.
It's still a common problem.
She considered her home as her laboratory. And I think a lot of it had to do with her parent, with her dad and his identical twin, where they were inventors, and she just grew up in that. I don't know if they were Amish. I don't think they were.
They had it in their blood.
Yeah,
one way or the other.
she, this Midwest gal, also, she worked for Vogue magazine at one time in New York City.
Wow.
I think she just would have been a really cool grandmother. Did you show her picture?
She
was-
I saw
She was
that.
a real pretty lady. While you're looking for that, I will start the discussion. I know we've asked this before, but I think it's still relevant. What is another example of an invention that was ahead of its time? So her diaper was 10 years ahead. They said no. 10 years later, it's a hit.
Oh, is that her?
That's her.
All right. And she's changing a diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she added the clasps to it. That was
Oh.
the claw cover,
Oh.
the plastic cover for the claw.
Trippy. Yeah, a lot of things end up being kind of ahead. The one that really blows my mind. I mean, it was helpful for what it was, but Bluetooth was invented in World War II to
Mhm.
basically eavesdrop on and scramble signals. But now of course we use it for devices that communicate with other devices, and it's just so much more versatile.
Mhm.
Anybody else got any ahead of their time inventions?
Probably like the electric car because they had them in the 70s.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
They never took off. We knew a guy who had one. It was just a little wedge.
Yeah.
And he zipped around town in it.
Yeah,
He was the only one.
it's true. Well, I mean, Ford actually made ethanol engines, and they weren't as popular for whatever, I don't know the circumstances, but now biodiesels, switchgrass, and all that. That's like a big deal. So yeah, it's true.
There's actually companies out there that sit around and wait for patents to expire because they see the advantages to them.
I've wondered about that, just like a watch list almost of, oh, when this expires, we're in.
Mhm.
You see a lot of it in medical devices and pharmaceuticals,
Yeah.
but you see it in just about every industry.
Yeah.
So just because you have a patent, if it's not selling, that doesn't mean there's not a use for it. You just haven't sometimes tried to sell it to the right person or marketed it in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
be amazed at the number of inventions out there that find a home after the patent.
wow, they're just kind of waiting. Yeah, I almost wonder if there's not like AI running that in on the USPTO database. Just okay, find this or find this, right? I mean, you could put a whole like database together of what's getting ready to expire so we can jump on it.
Mhm.
Okay, I have the last question. It's my favorite question.
All right.
Marion was quite prolific. Here's my question for you. Do you think she would be unimpressed that we have not invented something to surpass the common day disposable diaper?
Yeah, I would think that. Why is that sat there for so long?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I mean, how long diapers were around? I don't know what they did before.
And really, you just swallowed them with cloth and hope they didn't get dysentery, pretty much.
Right.
Mostly.
So that was around forever, and then she came out with this thing that was just like, oh well, this isn't the way we've done it for the last.
Infinity years.
Right.
Yeah.
And but now, I mean, how long? So this has been around for what, 70 years?
It's 1951 is when
Oh,
Pampers.
more than that. Then.
Yeah, 76 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would think she'd probably be coming up with the next.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Whatever.
think so too.
Yeah.
She'd be solving the landfill problem by
Yeah.
biodegradable or something.
I was going to say is, yeah, surely Has anybody tackled that? I wonder. I
I
don't
just,
know.
I just thought of an idea, but I'm not gonna share it.
Can I be in on it?
Yeah.
Can I stay claim?
On the live stream, not gonna
Yeah,
share
we
it.
won't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's just on YouTube. Yeah, that's not public disclosure at all.
You've got an NDA there.
Oh, but yeah, I would think she would.
Yeah,
I would think maybe she would have already cracked it.
Yeah.
But she was a prolific inventor though. She was one of those that just was going on and I think we're seeing a lot of those. It's kind of a running theme here.
multi-patent.
Hey, I've got a new idea. This is not even related to the last thing I did, but
You know why?
Yeah,
That,
it's addictive.
no, we've talked about all female inventors.
See, I thought it was, I didn't, yeah, okay, went over my head.
oh.
I don't play the gender card very much. We are in the state of Kentucky, and we do have to at least acknowledge that we had our first winning female trainer for the Derby.
Oh, yeah.
But really, what I was impressed with her when they interviewed her was she said, I'm just a trainer.
Mm.
And that's what I'm so appreciative of in the year 2026, that Margaret and Marion fought through the barriers, because if you train a horse or if you invent a box cutter, right, you're gender neutral for sure. I think there's advantages and disadvantages no matter what. But I will say this, that necessity is the mother of invention. But being a mother does really help for you to see things, because what happens as a mom is you're always thinking of everything that could possibly go wrong.
Mhm.
And then you're always wanting to solve everything in your household just to maybe purchase time so that you could have more time with your children or keep everything flowing better. But I will wrap this up for my portion and pass it to the next.
All right. Actually, I think I'm next. Yes. We're gonna talk about Betty Nesmith Graham. Let me get her pulled up. Just a second.
I like how she's got her pearls on.
Yeah, I know. So she's wearing pearls and she's changing a diaper. I wonder if that was marketing.
No,
I think
I
maybe that was marketing. Look, you can wear pearls and still change a diaper.
think that's how they did it back then. I would have been in trouble because
Yeah, there wasn't much casual wear, that's for sure. Lululemon wasn't invented yet.
right.
Let's talk about Betty Nesmith Graham. Now you may, and again, depending on your age or knowledge of 1960s history, she was the mother of Michael Nesmith, who was a member of the Monkees, a very popular band that had a sitcom TV show in the late 1960s. Kids, Google it. So she was entrepreneur, businesswoman. She did a lot of different things, but she's most noted for, let me get this where I can see it. All right, she's a single mother who created liquid paper, the correction fluid, while working as a secretary. She built it into a major company, all while single-handedly raising her son, Michael Nesmith, singer-songwriter and member of the pop band The Monkees. Betty Nesmith Graham came up with the idea while working as a secretary, because she often struggled with mistakes, typing mistakes. So she started experimenting with paint, and she kind of liked paint. She was like into painting and that sort of thing. And so she experimented with a lot of different mixtures until she created a fluid that could mask errors without smudging. which was kind of a, bigger thing than you think. It was kind of an interesting thing. So, this is her. This is actually her with her son, who became, Michael Nesmith of the Monkees. And, she, we find, I've got several links here.
You know,
Pretty
she
good.
originally had it in nail polish bottles, which is funny because when you look at whiteout bottle now, you're like, oh, this looks kind of like
It
nail
looks
polish
like that. It
bottle.
still looks like that. They've kind of still got that whole feel.
We gotta talk about the smell real quick. I love some liquid paper. I love it. I have Betty to thank.
Vaping, liquid paper over here.
Time to hide the glue gun.
Right. So, she struggled financially to support her son on a meager secretarial salary, trying to overcome technological learning curve that could very well have cost Nesmith Graham her job. Through ingenuity and perseverance, the high school dropout became a business magnet to transform the office supply industry in the 20th century. So this is just a cool, interesting story. Her initial filing was in 1958. After being fired from her job, she applied for a trademark for liquid paper and a patent for the process. And although she eventually received a patent in 1962 for liquid paper, she realized the patent would require revealing the specific recipe. So I'm guessing she didn't include it in that first patent. But to maintain a permanent competitive advantage, she transitioned to treating the specific quick drying recipe as a trade secret, similar to the formula for Coca-Cola. And her real success came from filing for a trademark for liquid paper in 1958, which protected the brand identity, while the secret formula was protected the product quality. And I've actually done that. We actually had products that did that, and that was actually cool. I think those are sometimes the unsung heroes of that whole thing. Jim, you look like you got a comment.
Oh, and when I was in the petroleum industry, a lot of what we did was protected by trade secret. Everything I came up with working in process engineering, we didn't want it to get out there because, patent or not, we were scared to death that Exxon or Mobil or somebody else would see it.
Yeah.
And we would lose our advantage.
Yeah.
Now you can, to some degree, get around that with chemical patents because you can give ranges, workable ranges.
Right.
But yeah, if it's easy to knock off and difficult to figure out what you're doing, trade secret can be a very appropriate path to take. So,
What do you think about the combination of trademark and trade secret? If it's popular, I guess.
Having worked at Valvoline, I can tell you firsthand that it doesn't matter what product you have. If you can't market it, you're not going to make any money. So a name like liquid paper is literally worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
And it sort of describes what you've got as well. The patent's good. Patents only last so long, but they're great at giving you a head start over everybody else. A trademark like liquid paper, you can keep in perpetuity as long as you keep using the trademark. It sure is forever. So,
funny enough, I actually have. Let's see if I can pull it back up real quick.
Do you have how she came up with the name?
Yes. She originally, by the way, this is the current trademark. I think the filing date was 78. Registration date was 1980. And it's current. It's live. I know it's live. Live and registered. So it's still kicking. I mean, it's great. I mean, she'd had a patent that would have ran out decades ago. So yeah, there's, I would think there was something to that. Yeah, funny enough, it's, liquid gold for her. yeah, they, let's see, yeah, there was a really good piece on this here. So with the help of a small group of employees, she began selling liquid paper to area office supply stores. And then in 1958, Fortune 500 behemoth General Electric placed the largest single order, 400 bottles in 3 colors. After the Secretary Trade magazine mentioned the company, calling liquid paper. I guess that's how it went viral. They wrote Trade magazine. The answer to a secretary's prayers. Orders from other large businesses and formerly the reluctant IBM soon followed. She originally called it the Mistake Out Company, but like many companies, struggled to become profitable in the early years. This would change after she met and married her second husband, Robert Graham, a former frozen food salesman. Graham used his experience to sell liquid paper to office supply stores around the country. As orders steadily increased, the Mistake Out Company's operations moved from her kitchen to her garage, then to a trailer. Well, I know this story, and subsequently a four-room house. With Graham's sales experience and influence as an executive, the company was able to become profitable in '64. And that year, what started as a scrappy business selling 500 bottles a week had grown tenfold and was meeting demand for more than 5,000 bottles per week. So after years of dogged determination, it paid off.
Oh, it smelled good.
Eugenia just bought it for the so she could like not what do they call it when they're
Rebase.
huffing? Yeah, she's huffing them. So 19
Because I made a lot of mistakes.
yeah, oh well, there you go. In 1968, so the trade secret actually helped beat out the competition. Liquid paper faced 3 other companies in the correction fluid market. It had increased in '79 by 30. So people were jumping on the bandwagon. But she had this superiority was due to her secret formula, actually according to a financial court filing. At its peak, liquid paper began producing 25 million bottles a year in factories located in Dallas, Toronto, Brussels, and Belgium, exported to 31 countries. So yeah, that's let me find my other doc. So yeah, so if you think if liquid paper can become a company, could other specialized goods? If she could do it, could somebody else do this with something else?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get more specialized than that. I think it really highlights that it doesn't have to be some sort of panacea for a big industry. It can just solve one simple problem, be its own bootstrap startup. So, yeah.
And you know, it's funny. It's that kind of that goes against what we always hear. We want to cringe when we hear it from inventors, where they'll say, "Everybody's going to want one of these."
So
What say you, Jim?
I hear that a lot too, but kind of what I want to comment on is I kind of see a pattern forming here, and I think Eugenia will probably agree with me on this, is that you're dealing with inventors that initially faced a lot of adversity in their life. And because of that, they were risk takers because they learned to depend on themselves. So not having the cushy life, not having, bags of money laying around, gave them the courage to believe in themselves and to take that first step.
Yeah, I total agreement. Sometimes I really think the money gets in the way. Yeah, early, it really does get in the way because they'll make bigger mistakes because they got more money to make the mistakes with, and they'll make most of them mistakes early. And then it'll be such a big mistake. It's like, well, I'm not doing that again. And then they quit. Where the ones that, okay, I got $5, not $500 million. I'm going to make my mistakes. They're going to be cheap. yeah, there'll be failures. I'm used to this. I can handle this. You're right. I don't, I didn't have the cushy life.
Yeah.
So this is a Tuesday for me, and this is how I get myself back up and dust myself back off. Absolutely. David, what say you?
So yeah, they were eating their own dog food, right?
Right.
They were, it was the necessity for them. She needed a diaper cover because she had kids,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady was making mistakes and needed to cover them up. So, it makes sense that they would be so persistent, and then other people would buy into it, right? Because
Mhm.
it's a big problem for everybody.
Yeah, a lot of other people just like her have the same problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all used whiteout.
Yeah.
Maybe our kids haven't, but
I was gonna say, if you're 20 and under, kids, white out liquid paper used to be what they did when they used typewriters. So
And it smells really good.
it smells really good.
yeah, don't tell the kids that.
Oh, trust me, they already
Yeah,
know.
well, maybe they have used it.
Just not for the same reason. So, what other inventions cover up mistakes you think that other people make?
Oh, that's a good question.
Chloroform.
Acid.
Oh.
Going true crime.
I mean, it's kind of funny. The newest iteration of whiteout is probably the AI autocorrect on like Google Drive and stuff.
Mhm.
Did you really mean to write this? What about this instead? It's kind of
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
modern version of that.
the recall on emails and text messages now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I didn't mean to send
yeah,
that.
that too. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, autocorrect is
Yeah.
I don't know. Autocorrect for me is good and
Oh,
bad
same.
because
Yeah.
I'll be typing and it's like
Yeah.
I'll mean to say one word. No, you mean this. No, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
No, I don't.
exactly. Fully agree there.
Yeah, I mean, I've embraced AI, I've embraced automation. I use it. It's a great tool. As long as it's good. Things like that I always think are good to use as a tool, but not a crutch.
Yes.
But that being said, there's two words I think we really need to start adopting with all the AI technology that's making decisions for us and all that, and that's manual override. I
Yeah.
just, if you don't have manual override, it's gonna, oh no, we're doing this,
Right.
and whether you like it or not. So, but yeah. So what other anything else?
Well, I would like to
Eugenia?
talk about
Yes.
this lady. I love the name liquid paper. I had forgotten about whiteout though.
Yeah, that's what I
That
think
was
of.
one of the other brands,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's almost like Kentucky Fried Chicken and
Please.
Please
Yeah.
get this recipe.
right. So I did love the name liquid paper. She started that company, and what I don't think happened is she didn't develop other products as a part of it. Correct?
Yeah.
Was it-
Yeah,
She was kind of, I'm
Yeah.
focused on it's opposite of the last guy.
Right, but I think if she could have created a product line that may have transitioned into maybe a different evolution of the company.
Mhm.
I saw on there that she passed away at age 56.
Oh, really?
Oh, geez.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. And so that concerned me. I thought, ooh,
Yeah. She was
Wonder
making
what-
thousands of bottles of something chemical.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the deal.
Was she smelling too much of her own?
she might. I still keep not a version of what out, but the tape.
Mhm.
I have it because I write in a lot of ink, and my brain functions better if I write something down
Oh, sure.
and that kind of thing. So I like to keep that handy because I do sometimes when I correct a handwritten mistake. So they would still be making money off of me. But I agree, it's something that has outlived itself.
Maybe not. Schools are pivoting now more. They're noticing like with Gen Alpha and Gen Z, they're like, performance and IQ and every metric is dropping off the more we use computers and iPads and all that. So there's kind of a pushback now where it's like, let's bring back pen and paper and physical books. So we might see whiteout come back big time. Sorry, liquid paper.
Yeah.
Well, we know what patent to go steal.
Well, they don't have a patent.
Yeah.
They have, yeah, they got a
They're good
trademark and a
forever,
trade
yeah.
secret.
Yeah, we
So-
need to go dress in black and go.
Start going through their dumpsters.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of that where competing companies would go through dumpsters
Yeah.
just to figure out where they were getting stuff.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, yeah. Is that, have you ever seen that before?
Yes, I have.
You're shaking your head, Jim.
Yes, I
Goodness.
We better protect the recipe on our mix.
Yeah. I've heard of some places that would, they would like compartmentalize who was making what in
Yeah.
the process.
KFC does that with their spice sources.
Oh, really?
Chartreuse does that with the two monks that make the liqueur. And somebody else, I think it's Coke. I think Coke, they got two people. Each of them knows half of the recipe.
No, nobody knows the other
Right.
piece.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, that's how you can,
Yeah,
that's how you can protect
Yeah.
trade secret.
100%.
A lot of it out there, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of companies compartmentalize and outsource very specific niche areas. And those specialized areas, no two companies ever know what the other one's doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, and that way they'll, if you get a disgruntled employee, well, I'm just taking this with me.
Right.
Although I imagine they have to have them sign all kinds of.
Oh, I'm sure.
NDAs.
Yeah.
An NDA is only as good as the person that signs it.
Well, that's true.
And a lot of people don't realize that, but, like, when the Coke recipe was stolen,
Mhm.
a secretary, I think she was secretary of the CEO or somebody, took the formula and went to Pepsi.
Wow.
And Pepsi did the right thing because,
They didn't want to get sued.
did not want to get sued, but, at the end of the day, she could have caused a lot more damage than she ever could have paid for.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's
so-
true.
An NDA would not have helped in that situation.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. You can't keep bad people from doing bad things.
Mhm.
Absolutely not.
One thing I always tell people too is nobody steals a bad idea.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Or one that's not selling. And they're
Yeah,
like, well,
you know what
it's
I say? You can't give a bad idea away.
I like that. We need to use that somewhere. Oh, all right.
Stephen put in our chat that she died of a stroke.
Well, really? Goodness.
Dang.
Well, let's see, what is next
I
here?
got Judith Love Cohen. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love this story. So Judith Love Cohen, back when she was in high school, she went to see her guidance counselor and said, I really want to do something with math. Really passionate about math. And the guidance counselor said, well, why don't you go to a nice finishing school? And thankfully, she did not follow that. She instead became an electrical engineer and started working on some really, really big projects, including for NASA. She worked on the Minuteman missile project, for example. And most importantly, her absolute favorite project was the abort guidance system. That ended up ultimately saving a lot of lives. Well, not a lot of lives, but some really important lives of the Apollo 13 astronauts. What it pretty much does is it allows them, if there's some sort of power failure, which there was, to still be able to pass through Earth's atmosphere and not get burnt alive. That was what she had worked on. But what I find so interesting about it, and the reason why I think it was a good Mother's Day special, is she had two sons, and one of them, I love this story. She was heavily pregnant with when she was working at NASA. She actually went to NASA the day she was in labor. She was struggling tremendously to be able to come up with a solution to this abort guidance system. Couldn't figure it out. Goes into labor. goes to the hospital, and at the hospital, she calls her boss at NASA and says, I've solved the problem and I've given birth to Jack. And it's Jack Black, the film star and musician.
Oh,
So,
totally.
yeah. So additionally, again, I also think it's just interesting how, you know, being raised by a parent can impact you. You know, Jack Black went into entertainment and we all kind of know who he is, but his half brother, whose name is eluding me at the moment, and my computer died. He actually followed in his mom's footsteps, and he has many patents on missile guidance and GPS related technologies.
Really?
So he's done a lot in very similar fields. So yeah, to me, that's just a remarkable thing, and it's just one of those fun stories that has such a bizarre twist at the end. That like, you know, she's done some amazing things, and very few people know about her. And you know, a fun segue into who she is, you know, hey, did you see the Minecraft movie? Well, guess what? So I just think that's really neat. My questions are, you know, she was going into labor. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to do while also coming up with an invention?
Well, I've got to say this. The Jack Black is not the actor I would have thought that had a brother that's working on missile guidance
Yeah,
systems,
right.
or a mom that like kept them
Yeah.
Save the
following-
Apollo
Say
13.
that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Creative genius, though.
creative genius. Yeah, yeah,
I think it was the fumes while she was working at NASA.
yeah. That was it.
It's coming together now.
She might have used liquid paper.
But yeah, have you ever invented anything under tremendous duress, or maybe the duress led to the invention?
Well, nothing compared to what she was.
Well, yeah, that's
Right,
fair.
right.
I mean, for me, which I can't name the product now, but I just got reminded by George Burkhart the other day that I need to get back into it. That was largely due to repeated injuries from livestock.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I can't wait till that comes back out. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, it's kind of funny when you really need to, let's say you've got a product and, you know, your products have their life cycles and all that, and you're like, okay, really need to start thinking about what's next, or what's the next iteration or whatever, and you got not the pressure of creating, but just the pressure of we've got to come up with something. And sometimes I think that stifles the whole creative
Yeah.
process.
Well, you know, that's in every field. I think they call it second album syndrome for musicians, and they call it second game and second film syndrome for, you know, shows and films and stuff. So yeah, so same thing with authors, second book syndrome. You know, it's always the 2.0 that's got the most pressure. Yeah, it's true.
We always call that, what have you done for me lately?
Yes, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in every industry.
How many years did you work at Babylon?
Valvoline, probably about 10 years. Ashland Petroleum, about 7 years before that.
That's where you started saying that, right? Have you done for me lately?
Yep.
Because you were in R&D.
Yeah, it didn't matter what you made last year.
Right.
That was our biggest problem, is that sales would go out and they would convince these large customers, here's what you need to buy from us. And when they got one that somebody actually kind of grasped on, they come back to us and said, okay, we need this in 3 months.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah. Salesmen love to make stuff up where it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this was great, and it makes.
Remember when I started it out, it was with Ashland carbon fibers. We made carbon fibers from pitch, which was never heard of. And they had some unique properties, some of which had military applications and stuff. But we had a sales guy who was literally selling products we didn't make. And we would try to reel him in. He's going to be, you don't understand how big the market is if you can do this.
You just gotta like create it
Yeah.
out of thin air. That's what you guys do, right?
he never could get the understanding that, we don't just wake up one day and say, let's try this.
Right.
Goodness.
Oh,
Well, Judith Cohen was very stuck. She was working at NASA, but was able to come up with her idea pretty much in like the obstetrics ward. So the other question is, has a change of scenery ever helped you with an invention?
yeah.
Yeah, quite often.
Yeah.
I can't think of an instance, but
Yeah, yeah.
definitely when you tune out and forget about what you were trying to figure out,
Yeah.
you can figure it out.
That's when insight bubbles up. Totally.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have to totally get out of wherever you are,
Mhm.
especially if you're stuck, you're at a brick wall. And a lot of people, I mean, it's counterintuitive. You're like, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And they won't leave and like go take a walk even. And when that's usually the thing that will get them to, oh yeah, well that'll come, or just, kind of let it go away. It's like trying to hurt a cat. It's you can't call a cat and get it to.
Okay, so here's where I have to pitch you part of the idea if we do have people come here.
Okay.
There's a yoga studio.
Oh.
And I really want, for me, inventing is the last act in my life. Every day I get to do it. It's just like, thank you so much, because I really enjoy it. But I really try to keep myself centered. And I have been studying, well, what makes you feel centered? Because I know, and if you feel stress, it stifles your creativity.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to be an inventor for so long, and it's starting to happen to me. So why do I want stress to be my partner?
Sure.
I do not. And one of the things that I try to do living here in Nicholasville is hear the trains at least once a day.
Oh,
I noticed you when you get the train, it's right.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And every day that I hear the train, I say, thank you for hearing the train. I know I'm centered. And this morning I said to myself, I didn't hear the train yesterday.
Mhm.
It's just very important to me because change of scenery, all of that. But I do think if we support inventors and entrepreneurs, that's part of what we say is you need to be centered. And I would like to take up yoga, but I like cardio a lot more. But I think I need to introduce that. Do you do any kind of that stuff, David?
I run.
Yeah,
I haven't run for a little while because of an injury last year, but I like to run and just tune out, and listen to music and just go.
Mhm.
We may hear the trains a lot more when we're upstairs in the new studio, by the way. I think you can hear them up there a good bit better, but maybe they don't. Does anybody know what the train whistles? Gosh, I heard all this. There's like 2 train whistles mean this. 1 train whistle means this.
No idea.
So I got to go to South Dakota last year, and great entrepreneur support organization up there, by the way. Shout out to Wildfire Labs. But I got to ride the 1880 train in Deadwood, South Dakota, and they explained. I thought this was so interesting. Then I listened after, but it's
There's
like
a train right on
Oh,
cue.
wow.
there we go. We got a train. Can anybody hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think 2 when they get close to a crossing, it's like 2 whistles,
Makes sense.
and then 2 whistles, 2 long whistles and a short. And there's like a whole
Makes sense. It's
Morse
almost like Morse
code.
code, yeah.
There's a Morse code to train whistles.
Huh.
And of course now I can't remember
Yeah.
what meant, but I just thought it was interesting about that. But
You ever done yoga?
Not very well.
Okay, I was gonna say,
What
it's
about
harder than
you?
it looks, yeah.
It is hard,
It's
yeah.
just work. But it's,
Quite a little
I'll
fun.
do it if there's a goat involved. That's my, I like goat
Okay.
yoga. That seems more fun.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
I have never
Yeah.
heard
Even
of
So,
goat.
Goat yoga. People do yoga.
I've
and
heard of
they-
goat yogurt, but not
Yeah.
goat.
People are doing yoga and there's a goat and it just hops around and jumps
Really?
up on people when they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
poses and yeah. It looks very fun.
I'm trying to hold the jokes back on that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm having all kinds of visions of think I asked you about raising goats one time. You said they're.
They have amazing talent for getting themselves killed. They're the most reckless little animals. Yeah.
They must not have non-lives.
No,
Good.
they got half of one.
But yeah, absolutely.
Well, now it's time to give Eugenia the spotlight today.
Yeah,
I'm in the spotlight.
well, you can. We'll segue. How about
Yeah,
between you and
yeah.
David?
No, I was saying, I think it's David.
Well,
Or-
David, you want to talk about Dabu Designs and how you?
I can talk about it for a little. bit.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought this was like a twofer. Okay, so
Okay.
So Dabu Designs was Halloween 24/7 before.
Oh.
And it came about when I wanted to start building Halloween props and decorations, because my kids, as they were growing up, we built bigger and better Halloween props every year. And as they got older, we stopped doing that, and I missed it. So I was like, yeah, I want to do some more of that. So when we were doing that, we built like a full-size coffin so we could scare kids. We built full-size cemetery fence. And tombstones and animatronics, and got into all of it, and just really had a lot of fun. So I was doing all these paper mache and paper mache clay sculpts for the Halloween industry, and it was so slow of a process to where you'd have to wait for things to dry and set up and all that. We happened to go to a bar in downtown Lexington. I forgot which one now. And it was a little meeting with other artists, and one of the guys said, "Yeah, my best selling items are my prints, because the original paintings are too expensive for most people to buy and take home, but I can sell prints all day."
Hmm.
And I thought, if I could do the same thing with these sculpts,
Oh, cool.
I could just replicate the heck out of that. So I started learning how to make molds and do castings, and then it's evolved from there. So a few years go by, and I'm like, um, the Halloween industry is really brutal, really difficult to get into. It's really competitive. So I was like, well, maybe if I just evolve and move into something else, I can start making a little more money, and making it more worth my while than just focusing on one industry. So I started doing other castings of I did one of the Henry Clay Maggie, Missouri statue. It's out there. We went out and 3D scanned it and made molds and cast it, and the artist sold those. And
cool.
that was one of the first segues into Dabu design. And then since then, we've still done a lot of mold making and casting. We do silicone molds. So they're not these, large steel molds that you may think of as injection molding.
Mhm.
And we still make a lot of those, and we do our master models. A lot of the master models are 3D printed. And we've gotten into the horse industry based on some clients that we've got that want to make products for the PEMF industry. Or they do make products based on that. And that evolved into, we were getting coils from China. I'm like, yeah, we can make coils. So I bought a little hand crank coil winder, and we started winding our own coils. And as that ramped up, it got painful. So we bought and built a machine to do it for us. So now we do that for these PEMF devices. And then we also embed them in the resin and the rubber that we learned doing Halloween stuff.
nice.
So that was pretty cool. And we've continued to evolve to where we now have done a lot of testing and learned testing over the years on how to test these devices and coils and make them better. So my newest venture is Gauss Labs. And Gauss Labs is a testing facility for EMF devices, and we're doing certifications and all that. So none of this is reflected on the Dabu Designs
Oh.
website at all, except for some of our products that we have. There might be some blog stuff. The site's really old. needs an update, needs a facelift. But Gauss Labs is the new site that we're working from for that product line. And I'll add some references to
Okay.
it from here at some point as well.
Kind of look up the
Yeah.
website. Show it?
Yeah, gausslabs.tech.
GAUSS.
Yeah, GAUSS labs.tech.
Tech.
Yeah.
Unless I misspelled it. Nope, there we go.
There we go. Cool. So we're working on the certification process. We've got the certification process pretty well nailed down.
Mm.
There's some examples of some of the graphs and charts. What I wanted to do is there's no certifier out there, and there's no testing standard. So these machines might say, yeah, this is a 50-watt machine, which means nothing. And it can say it's a 100 Gauss machine, which means more, but not without context. So we're like, yeah, we need to create some context. If you go back up to the top there, there's a PEMF device certification. Yeah, go to the
You guys are doing what?
go to the accessory analysis, one of those. You just pick one of the links there, the pancake or the donut. So we're trying to make it really simple. The last thing I wanted to do was make it overly complicated. So we're actually also showing how we're setting up our tests. So we can say, hey, here's all our test points. So we're not hiding anything except for maybe some of our algorithms, because they should be able to replicate the test in their lab. So we've got all this information here. The green cards are the primary cards that are most important values. But then you can see like there's a heat map there that shows the symmetry of the device that we measured. And there's a lot of information here. And shows the slew rate and the Gauss output at various points. So you can tell what the properties of the coil are. And different coils are good for different use cases. So you might have a coil that you want to be pretty level, that covers a large surface area to treat a larger area. You may want something more focused to just focus on, if you have tendonitis or something, or for carpal tunnel, you may want to just focus it there. So that's what we're kind of yeah, exactly.
So when I'm talking to you about this, I hear mostly horses, but there's a human market for this.
Oh yeah, this is a big thing in the human market as well.
So where can I buy one?
I can point you to
Okay. Yeah. No, so tell us, just walk us through a little bit about the use cases for this, how this, what is, for those that don't know, what is a PEMF device?
Well, so a PEMF device is pulsed electromagnetic field, and basically it's for healing and helping to regenerate cell growth and various other things. I'm not as into it in the biological sense as I am the engineering sense, where I know what biological effects they're looking for and what engineering feats need to be taken to meet those goals. But I know the engineering, so I know how to make a coil that will do those properties, and I know how to take advantage of the machine properties for that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. Biologically, I need to probably learn a little more, and that's one reason I also created a dictionary on here.
Oh, nice.
Is to learn more, but I still don't know all of it. So yeah, so it's been quite a venture here for the last few months to get this built up to where it is right now.
Really cool.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It's an ever evolving process to where you take knowledge that you learn from this project and
then
apply it to the next one and the next one, and see holes in the field where this does not exist anywhere else. Nobody else is doing this. And I'm
you
like,
could become the next biological sting commission.
yeah, maybe so, right? Yeah.
I love this. This is great.
Yeah, thank you. We need to pass it over to Eugenie.
Well, you'd been working with Eugene, yeah? And I think it's a good segue. And Jeannie, you want to talk about actually give us a little, because believe it or not, last month we had a rather challenging attempt to do the live stream at the Central Kentucky Home Show, but we had our innovation station there, and you were debuting the unboxing. So tell us a little bit about that, about your experience and about the unboxing and how it went for you, and your process with David. I guess that's a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely thankful to be a part of this group, because if it wasn't for Axure, I wouldn't have an unboxing. I know that.
Well, with you.
Oh,
I don't, yeah.
Nice.
And we are starting to sell it hopefully online. Leo, I may need to get you to
Okay.
check me when I go to e-commerce. This is the Cobalt version. But this is a slick little design that David has here. It clicks when you open it up and clicks when you go back. And we decreased that exposure of the blade by 2/3. And it is a very sharp blade. But we wanted to basically solve the problem of we get so many packages at home, but we have those really big blades, just that the steel trapezoid blade that is just so long. And so this is much shorter. And when you go into the depth of the package, you do not go in that far, and it protects what's inside. It also is less intimidating for a lot of mothers, women out there. They have this guard here also. Some of the feedback that I got from the women was they liked how it fit in the hand. They liked the right-handed, left-handed use of it. We also, for the female version, it has a little chain on it. It's a really cool design. I am learning how to scale the product. And David is able to manufacture probably to meet our demand here locally for sure. And it's going to be hard for David to break away from me, because I am very dependent on him because he has so much more experience. But I'm also excited to be able to have more people use this product. I do have a little bit of a demand, just because, like we've talked about it being an inventor, you have to wear so many hats.
Yeah.
Which I think moms are good at.
That's right.
But I've been working on a social media presence. I'm trying to figure out exactly which one that I want to go through to get more sales attached to it as I ramp up all of it this summer. In terms of the home show, I learned about pitching, just what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, how I think things I would have done differently. And I really appreciated what you said about money, just spending your money. And I'm definitely one of those people who probably just needs to stay poor as long as I can, so that my mistakes are less expensive.
Yes.
Because I could see how you are almost intoxicated
Mhm.
with the idea. I don't know how many people, there are always going to be bad actors, people that really think they're going to make $1 million. But I think more so you're driven by, I want people to use something that I've created.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's a good motivation.
it
That's
is.
Yeah.
But definitely working on getting the blade sourced more affordably at this point also.
It's funny that you said you want to be able to make something that people could use over the money. And, don't get me wrong, everybody, if you don't, broke people can't help anybody. But that being said, I think you have to have a purpose. You have to have oh shoot, what, a why,
Yes, a why.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking, Simon Sinek, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no worries.
So you have to have a why, because honestly, a lot of people think, oh, I'll be motivated because I'm going to make a lot of money with this. That motivation runs out real quick.
Mhm.
And if you have that as your why, it will run out on the first, hot day in July or snowy day in February where things just aren't going your way. So
Sure.
so I think that will carry you through much, much more
Mhm.
for that reason.
But definitely just an attitude of gratitude. Thank
Yep.
you, Don.
Well,
Thank you, Leo.
appreciate all you do for us.
Thank you,
Exactly.
David.
Thank you.
You have made my dreams come true because, I mean, everything else is really just gravy for me because this is my second act. But I'll introduce you to your new opening act. But
Love
one
how you did that
I just have a
there.
question for David, though, that is, I saw everything that you just showed. I've worked with you for the past several months. David, what vitamins do you take and how did you get everything done?
Oh, I have lists that I keep of what needs to get done, and they're on a Kanban board, they're digital. I move the priorities to the top and I see these are the things I gotta focus on, and then I get diverted sometimes. And then, I get interested in something that's not a priority, and I have to remind myself, focus on the next priority or the current priority and get it done. Because, 20 projects that are in progress don't do anybody any good. So you just kind of have to tune out and get them done. My
Calm.
wife's very, very nice about letting me have time and space when I need it. So as long as I plan her in too.
There a website for this Kanban board?
So I've got one. Well, so there's like Trello boards and things
Oh, yeah, I
like
see. I
that.
use Trello.
And the one I'm using is actually a WordPress plugin that I bought, so I don't have to pay a monthly fee.
Oh, very cool.
Called
Nice.
Boards.
I use a spreadsheet.
I use a notebook, so yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
love it. Love it. All right, guys. Well, congratulations
Yeah, give him a hand.
on your successes thus far. And I'm excited to see the next steps with the golf.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, good deal. Let's see. Got a couple things to wrap up real quick. Um, one quick announcement to make. Let's see if we can find it. Yes. So for those of you that don't know, we are in a building here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. I used to kind of take jabs at it and lovingly call it the ugliest building in Nicholasville. But we're changing that. Actually, this is the front door, the new sign in the front with our new branding. But we are turning this into kind of an incubator dash slash accelerator for entrepreneurs, innovators, and startups. A part of it's our new studio we're going to be opening that we're going to be doing our live stream from. Some of it we're doing we've got a loft area, a co-working space. We're going to have virtual office. We can do virtual office stuff in here. And we've got a big warehouse. And we're going to be renting out space by the pallet for inventors, entrepreneurs that have inventory that they want to store and maybe even offer some 3PL services. So with that, we're going to have a grand opening. We're going to have a ribbon cutting later this probably in another month or two, I'd say maybe July. But we're going to do a ribbon cutting, and in end of this month, end of May, where for those of you who are close in the area and would like to volunteer, we're going to have a Let's Build What's Next. So we're going to be looking for volunteers that can clean, organize our warehouse and our office space that we're going to be doing. So if you are interested in that, email me, don@actionnetwork.org, and we'll definitely see how you can help. So anyway, with that, don't forget our news and announcements will be coming to you via email. If you're not, sign up for news and announcements. And if you have and you've not gotten anything, check that junk folder. Sometimes we get lost in there. But definitely want to watch for that because we've got new stuff like this coming up all the time. Our next workshop is going to be next week. Got to be a member for that. Go to our website and become a member, and you can join us for our Inventor Entrepreneur Workshop. That's going to be next week, Tuesday, May the 12th. Our next open meeting in June is going to be June the 2nd. Stay tuned. We've got some cool stuff coming out about that. And the next Inventor Friday is going to be Friday, June the 12th. So be sure and watch for that. Who knows, we might be opening the new studio by then once we get all the everything all copacetic. So thank you all so much for spending your Friday evening with us, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this informative and entertaining. Any final thoughts, Leo?
Have a great Mother's Day weekend and happy graduation to everybody who graduated today.
All right, cool. Jim, any final thought? Oh, if they're looking to if they're looking for a good patent attorney, where do they need to go?
Easiest thing to remember is just www.gearhartlaw.com. That's GEARHART law.com.
All right, easy enough. Cool. David, Debu Designs, where do we find you?
Yep, that's exactly where you find me.
All right, Debu Design, DABOO Designs,
Designs.com.
designs.com.
Correct.
All right. Any final thoughts, Eugenia?
No. Sorry.
Eugenia switches the cameras and does a lot of stuff around here. So, well, thank you all again. I hope you all have a great evening. And again, thank you for spending time with us. And we hope to see you again